Hello and welcome to Video Revealed. I'm Colin Smith. This is part one of a three-part series on storage. This episode is called, How Much Storage Do You Need? All right, I packed up the summer beach house and I'm back at my New York City loft. Just kidding. This is another one of my amazing BELECO backdrops. Link is in the description. All right, storage is something that a lot of people don't pay attention to until it bites them in the butt and you get this dialog box, this little guy right here, that nasty thing. And it comes up when you're trying to make a file, usually a big video file, and you've run out of storage. And the question I see coming up more and more, especially since ProRes is now widely available in Premiere Pro on both Mac and Windows, ProRes files are gorgeous, but they're huge. But even H.264 files saved as 4K or larger can take a lot of room. So I'm going to show you some general guidelines. I'll show you the project, I'll show you the exported files, and then I'll give you a little calculation about how much you need. I'll give you links to 3 online calculators, and then I'll give you a link to a drive that my daughter, who's a feature film editor, she's using now, which is an SSD from Samsung. So let's have a look at my project. By the way, these guys are absolutely nuts. These crazy, wow, it's amazing what they do. This is ARTLIST footage and these guys are just nuts. Okay, so I have an HD project and a 4K project. Both of these are 5 minutes long. And then I've duplicated this over and over for a 1 hour long file because I wanted to show you. I just picked 2 sizes, 5 minutes and 1 hour. Obviously, I'm not going to do every minute. And HD and 4K and H.264 and ProRes, just to give you a good idea of giant files and some highly compressed files. H.264, which is what you're watching right now on YouTube, is highly compressed. I only export out high quality, which is a very high bit rate, out of Premiere Pro to go to YouTube. So if you think my videos look okay, that's what I'm using. I'm just using the Adobe presets. I never monkey around with 2-pass, 1-pass, and all those sliders. I think a lot of people are fooling themselves if they think they're smarter than Adobe engineers that have made these presets. So I exported out. This is the quick export here. And this is what I typically use, which is high quality 1080p HD, H.264, 2997, 20 megabits per second. I don't touch that. I just let this go and then hit export. If you use the export mode up in the top left, you can get the same settings up here. The same preset is here. And if you go to the More section, then you can get to these settings down here, and you can change some of these settings, like some people will change these target bit rates. Okay, the other thing you get over on the right is an estimate of the file size. And I found every estimate in Premiere Pro was wrong, so I never trust that. Again, if you only have a tiny amount of drive space and you're looking at that and you're saying, I think I can get it in there, there's a good chance you're going to get an error. Probably half the time that'll be too big. Here's the funny thing I'm going to admit to you is I ran out of space twice making 4K, making ProRes files. But anyway, let's get back to editing. Okay, so I don't do a lot of large exports. The time when I do export out ProRes, it's for when I want to do something over and over again. Like the show opening that you saw, which was transparent, was ProRes 444. So it looks gorgeous when I drop it in, and then when it gets exported out yet again, it's coming from a high quality file. Same with the ending. When you watch those credits, they're all created and exported either in Premiere Pro or in After Effects and then exported as ProRes. Okay, so the 4K file was this dance file. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to test to see if the content was making a difference, and it made no difference at all. The backgrounds in here are moving, but they're a lot more stable than the flying ones, where every pixel is changing at all the time. Okay, so I exported those out, and I want to show you the file sizes. Let's jump to my desktop. By the way, this is not Windows Explorer. This is called Files. I'll put a link in the description. I love this so much better than Explorer. It actually makes me feel, it has column view, which I missed on the Mac, which was not invented by Apple, by the way. But anyway, this is Files. So what I like about Files is it shows me a gigabyte size. So you can see, let's go to the HD 5-minute. So HD 5-minute MP4. There we go. HD 5-minute MP4, 764 megabytes. And you can open up the preview on the side, and it gives me my video encoding, 21 megabits, and there's the duration with some information. So that's the 5-minute HD. If we go to 1 hour HD, now we're up almost at 9 gigabytes in size. 1 hour of HD takes a lot of size. And if we look at the 5-minute .mov, so this is 4K 5-minute ProRes, 21 gigabytes in size. And a lot of really new young users who are used to the incredible efficiency of H.264, they actually think ProRes is broken. It's like, what's wrong? Why are these files so big? They're so big because they're much better quality. Look at the encoding bit rate, 614 megabits per second. These are giant files, and they're gorgeous looking files. You have to understand that H.264 was created based on human vision. And when the scientists were making that format, they were taking as much away from the video frames so that it looked as similar to the original to the human eye. The problem with H.264 to a computer is if you bring highly compressed video back into a computer and you're trying to do things like green screen or compositing or anything that involves really pushing the video in many different ways, effects, it starts to fall apart because there's not as much information. That's why a lot of people use higher quality videos if they're doing something where they need to do it over and over again, or using effects like green screen. Okay, so let's look at the HD. So here's the HD ProRes, almost 5. The 4K ProRes, almost 22 in size. Now, I had to go in and plug in an extra drive when I did my 4K 1 hour ProRes. Look at this sucker, 258 gigabytes in size. And then I wanted to do an HD on the same drive. Again, I really was just throwing these files out there. I ran out of room, so this one, I hate putting stuff on my desktop. You can see my desktop has nothing on it. But this is an HD 1 hour ProRes, and this is also 57 gigabytes in size. So how much room do you need? Well, I think a simple thing to do is to look at one of these files and then just run a calculator. How many times are you going to use this? Or divide. So a terabyte is you can use 1,000, but it's 1,024 gigabytes officially, and then just divide it by this. And that's what I did for a bunch of these files here. So let's just go look at my slides. All right, also in Premiere Pro, didn't think you could do slides in Premiere Pro. So up at the top, H.264, which I said was very highly compressed. So we're going to look at the first one. So there's a 5-minute HD video, and based on the sizes I showed you, you can get about 1,300 of those per terabyte. If you want to take that up to 1 hour, the same H.264, you'll only get 112 of those per terabyte. Now in ProRes, a 4K 5-minute H.264 5-minute is 300. You'll get 333 of those in a 4K 1 hour, 76 per terabyte. Now when we get up to ProRes, things get much, much bigger. 5-minute HD ProRes, you'll only get 207 of those clips per terabyte. And if we go to 1 hour, now we're only going to get about 17 of those per terabyte. All the way to 4K, boy oh boy, 4K 5 minutes is you'll only get 47 of those per terabyte. And all the way up to a whopping 1 hour, 4 per terabyte. So that's still reasonable. If you're going to put a feature, a 2-hour feature on a drive, you could actually get a 2-hour 4K ProRes feature on a drive that you're sending off to somebody. So that's good. Now, these were all calculated very simply based on the files that I exported. Your results are going to be hugely different if you're tweaking that the bit rate. If you're changing the bit rate or not choosing high quality, you could have many, many more files. So this is just a general guideline and a way to figure things out. I also wanted to give you these three. I looked around at so many of these calculators and many of them weren't as good. But I'll give you links to these three calculators online. Oh, by the way, there's the storage my daughter suggested. This is the SSD from Samsung. It's the T7, so this is fairly new. It's USB 3.2 and it connects through USB-C on the side. And you can get, look at that, that's nuts. These are US prices, $149, so 150 bucks for 2 terabytes. That's crazy. Okay, so here's the calculators. There's DigiArty, this one from Tools Stud.io, and Digital Rebellion. Each one of these has the ability to calculate things, and I'd be careful with these camera formats. These camera formats are probably going to be more compressed than the high quality H.264 coming out of Premiere Pro. But you can see several different of these, and a lot of DJI formats, GoPro formats. And if we keep going down to the bottom, bunch of ProRes formats, Nikon, Samsung, Sony, and you pick one of these formats, you pick the resolution, the size, how long this is, and then you calculate the size and you can copy that. So that's one of them. This one, you actually click in this frame rate, you put in the width and size, the duration in frames, hours, minutes, seconds, or SMPTE time code. What is the compression? This one's interesting because it does give you Netflix, so this is more accurate to exporting out to these formats. So you can see there's a YouTube, Blu-ray, and then uncompressed formats down here, and then you can estimate the video size, and it's got a bit of information down here. Another one over here, video space calculator. This one, you can choose H.264, frame rate. I was doing everything 2997. So let's do 1 hour, and it's telling me 43.36 gigabytes. And mine was 57 gigabytes. So there you go. There's some ways that you can estimate file storage. I think really it is best to look at the typical files if you are exporting out typical files, and that's your gauge versus how many terabytes that you need, that you would expect, how many files that you create, and just keep that in mind so you've always got a lot of room for storage. The other 2 episodes I'll be doing on storage, one is on cloud storage, a company called Sweet that does amazing video sharing cloud storage, and then the other is going to be a network attached storage from a great company, QNAP, and I'll have one of their NASs here to show you in the future. Hey, if you're new to Video Revealed and you found this informative, take a moment and subscribe. You want to support us some more? You can do that on VideoRevealed.com/shop. Donate once or monthly, any amount. Thanks to all of our wonderful donors. We do appreciate that. Till next time, I'm Colin Smith, and it's my job to run out of space here on my drives, just to alert you to what you can do to keep you aware of how much space you might need.